Hi everyone, it's Andy Carley here from School Outdoor Learning. This is Soul Interactive. So it's Sunday the 5th of April. I'm coming to you from my garden here in Hampshire, and this is the first of our activity-based films where we're going to share with you a number of activities which we hope you find really interesting, really useful, and generate lots of fun and learning in your young people. So the 4 activities that I'm going to share with you today come under the overall heading of what we call Go Discover. We've been using activities like this for a number of years, and I'm sure you've done similar things too. The beauty of activities like this is we are encouraging young people to go out into their surroundings, be they open and expansive surroundings or closed in around a home environment. Both things are possible. But essentially what we're doing is we're encouraging our learners to be autonomous, self-directed, and ultimately curious. It also means, because of the simplicity of the exercises, there can be quite a light touch in terms of explanation and close supervision from parents or teachers, whoever is the adult working with the young people too. And then ultimately what there's the opportunity to do once the activities have been completed is to return and share and talk about and learn from the great things that have been found. So the first activity is called Alphabetty Collecti. Now, my apologies for the terrible puns. You'll have to excuse these. You'll get used to them as time goes on. So Alphabetty Collecti is a pretty simple exercise. Children are given a sheet, and the objective is to find an item or part of an item beginning with each letter of the alphabet. They then recover a small part of it or the item in its entirety, put it in a small box or bucket or bag, so they don't recover anything that's really big. What you're encouraging them to do is to go out there and be creative. The hard version really is quite hard, as it contains some more obscure letters, Q, X, Z, for example. X is a particularly difficult one. There are very few items that might be found naturally in our environments. Perhaps xylem, which is part of a plant, might be one of the few that springs to mind. So you might actually find it better to use the easier version with some of these letters removed. Please ensure also that you either read to or have children read the guidance and safety notes at the top of the page, just to keep them safe, and obviously for your own levels of anxiety it will be hugely helpful. Activity 2 is a great little maths and numeracy exercise. We call it the estimation station. Here the emphasis is very much on estimation as a first attempt. Encourage your learners to be creative and as accurate as they can be, but absolutely not to worry if they're getting things wrong. It's a fun activity, it's not designed to be a test. And absolutely do not give out any measuring devices whilst the activity is underway. What we want to encourage children to do is to have a go, try things. They'll be wildly out with some, very accurate with other answers. But check those answers at the end, and that's when you can bring out tape measures or other devices for checking how accurate the answers are. Activity 3 is a classic scavenger hunt, but I guess with a bit of a twist and a bit of a difference. So children are sent out to find an item that best describes each of the words on the sheet. Now obviously one child's scary might be another child's beautiful, which makes for some interesting and lively discussion at the end. Again, make sure that they understand and follow the rules at the top of the page. There's obviously a bit of a caveat and a cautionary note about the term yummy, as you do not want anything to actually be ingested or eaten during the activity. So you may choose to leave this one out, or kind of make sure that clear guidance and safety concerns are shared. The activity can be done with the whole sheet and a time period given to find as many of the items relating to the words as possible. Or you could, if you want to more tightly control it, just simply send the group out or an individual child out one word at a time, and then return, share and discuss the item that they've found. So activity 4 is a really useful and interesting exercise, and we call it My Name Is. Some children we know like to be quite precise and perfect with everything that they do. Not knowing the names of objects or not getting things right can cause some anxiety and stress levels amongst your learners. So this exercise, I guess, kind of frees everyone up, including the adults of course too, from having to know the names of things that we might find really surprising, fascinating and beautiful in nature. So sending your learners out to discover items that they like the look of and are curious about, and then inventing their own unique words to describe them is loads of fun and generates a lot of creativity, and again free of all the constraints of having to use the right language. They can then also collect a sample or take a photo to remind them of what it is and what it looks like, which can be useful if they're collecting multiple items. So in these times of constraints around physical distance between each other and people being kind of locked down, the majority of the time you may want to be doing these types of activities just at an individual level with individual learners and children. However, there's lots of scope to also do this in a wider sense with small teams for teachers that are operating in schools that remain open. So operating on a team basis can make it really quite interesting, because there's the scope to give out the sheet but then have the children engage in a bit of planning and organising about who's going to collect what and where they're going to go to collect it. So a team-based effort can be super useful. You may want to create your own adaptations of the sheets as well, based on age or ability levels, or also the working area that you've got, be it a garden and a house, or a small flat, or a larger space within a school for students that are operating in a school environment. So we hope you have loads of fun with these activities. Just click on the link and that will send you through to the written resources, the sheets themselves that accompany each exercise. You'll be able to download those, print them off and use them at your leisure. And finally, a reminder to subscribe to our channel. Click on the bell icon and then you'll get regular updates and reminders when the next films are released over the coming weeks. And just as a final thing to say, our next film will be released on Wednesday, the 8th of April. So I look forward to seeing you then.